Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joy. Thank you for being here and thank you for making this your safe space. In today's video, we are going to be doing something very exciting, but also very terrifying. We are going to be reacting to 1-star reviews of my 5-star reads so far this year. At the time I'm filming this, I have read 25 books and 10 of those books have been 5 stars. But we are going to be reacting to all of these 1-star reviews. I'm very sensitive and I know that I will most likely be offended. I'm gonna need Jesus on my side with this whole thing.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit,
no.
activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate. Activate.
All right, the first book that we are going to start with is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. This entire series for me is 5 stars. I just truly love it. It is so cute, so cozy. If you want something that is a true rom-com, I highly recommend Sarah Adams and her books. I love the found family vibes and I love all of the couples in this series for their own different reasons. So I'm really excited and very happy to say that I've knocked out that entire series in 2025. All right, y'all, we got the computer. I am scared. I am terrified. We're just gonna bite the bullet and go ahead and do it. Ooh, y'all starting off hot already. I paid $18.50 for this in an airport and I regret it. This book is essentially the literary equivalent of an uncooked blob of underproof white ass dough. I mean, it's basic, so basic. Is there even a story here? I'm not so sure. It's mostly just 308 pages of internal monologue with both characters constantly whining and agonizing over how they can't be together. That's it. There was plot. Plot was giving in this book. Like, Amelia had her own struggles, Noah had his own struggles, and they both were able to grow from these struggles. That is the beauty of a book plot. You're gonna have your exposition, then your rising action, your climax, your falling action, and your resolution, period. And you continue to go on a rant, but we're not gonna read that because I wanna spare you guys this person's energy. Okay, this one is kind of funny. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Hannah Montana falls into insta love with the president of her fan club. First of all, how can she be Hannah Montana when Amelia's not even blonde? And Noah barely listened to her music anyway. His sisters were huge fans, but Noah barely listened to her. I don't know. It had a 2-star rating until Noah revealed that he had a tattoo of a pie and bouquet of flowers. What the literal... Sis, do you not realize that his sister owns a flower shop and the pie shop was owned by his grandma? We get tattoos for symbolic reasons. Repeat after me. Most of our tattoos have symbolic reasons, and this is one of those cases. Y'all. Oh, shut up with multiple P's. I hated everyone in this book except Mabel. Now, Mabel is a queen. Like, we're not even gonna lie. I do agree. Mabel was everything in this story. But I love all of the characters. Come on now. So many unnecessary details. Who cares about her red toe? So predictable, so annoying, money wasted. Bye. I didn't care about her red toe either. I agree. But, like, I'm not going there. I'm not going there with y'all. They can shove their insta-love up their along with the pies and the sisters, especially the sisters. Come on now. You're gonna have to get used to the sisters' bookie butt because the sisters are in the rest of the series. So look at it and love it. All right, you guys, let's go on to Practice Makes Perfect. I personally really loved this one because out of all the sisters and all the characters, I feel like I resonate with Annie the most because she's such an introvert. She's so sweet. She's so quiet. Everyone looks at her as like the town sweetheart, the literal angel. So I feel those vibes very heavily. So, and I love me a man with some tattoos, okay? So, yeah. Oh, wow. Why we gotta start off like that? This book made me realize how learning how to read was the biggest mistake of my life. Okay. Oh, okay. Are they 13 or 30? I was really excited for this book, so it really disappointed me how awful it was. The characters are boring and bland, and the girl is super childish. I really tried to like this book, but it was just bad. Now, okay, they had some immature moments. Like, I will give you that. But they both grew in the end. Here's my take. I do think that they had some immature moments. I mean, come on, we're human. We're going to have moments where we're immature and we're childish. Like, we live and we learn from our mistakes. I will admit, Will did feel a little one-dimensional. We did get little glimpses of his life, which I appreciated, and his familial issues that he was having. I did appreciate that, but I did wish that we dove into his character arc a little bit more. So I do agree with that. I hated everyone in this story, and I wished them all the worst. Felt like being trapped inside the mind of a teenager. Dang. Then if you wish them the worst and they're fictional characters, I don't know what to say about you, love. Sounds like you need to get out of the mind of a teenager. DNF'd at 25%. Why are we leaving 1-star reviews of books that we DNF? Why are we doing that? Goodreads, if you're watching this video, please consider adding a DNF button. I beg of you. Cringe alert, this book was just awful. Annie is a 30-year-old toddler who wears banana printed underwear. The whole thing about pirate romance is also cringy, and the town of Rome is full of judgmental people. And the story is kind of discriminatory against people who have tattoos. Like, come on, a tattoo and you're a bad person that needs to stay away. It was so painful to read. I just don't understand the hype. You do make some valid arguments. Some people in the town are very judgmental, and I'm not gonna dive too deep into all of that, but I mean, judgmental people in a small town where everybody knows everybody, come on, it's a common occurrence. But I do agree. I do think that they shouldn't be judging people based off of what they look like on the outside. I do agree with you on that. This book made me want to get a lobotomy. Sheesh. All right, you guys, let's get into the last book in the When in Rome series, and that is Beg, Borrow, or Steal. I personally loved this one the most. I absolutely loved Emily and Jack and their banter. Jack, you cannot tell me Jack does not look like that hot guy from The Mentalist. Like, when I was doing a fan cast in my head, I was picturing that man. I can't express how annoying, insufferable, irritating, aggravating, obnoxious, infuriating, whiny, arrogant, self-absorbed, idiotic, self-serving, pretentious, dumb, and stupid these two characters were. Well, sweetie, it seems like to me you're trying to flex and show how many adjectives you know. So, who's idiotic here? DNF. Boring. All right, sweetie. All right, we get it. You DNF the book. You DNF the book. You don't have to do all that extra. DNF. The adults are way too immature and mean. I cannot. How were they mean? Emily has black cat energy, okay, but I did not get mean vibes from Jack. Jack was setting boundaries with people, but yeah, mean energy, I didn't see it. Maybe we read a different book. I don't know. All right, guys, the next book that I read made me fall in love with dark rom-coms, and that is Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. This book just had me laughing out loud. The audiobook is incredible. I'm still thinking about this book, and I read it back in January, and I'm still thinking about it. Over 3,000 1-star reviews. I am terrified. Oh my God. Nurse discovers TikTok horror. Oh wow. Okay. I guess this is gonna be the theme of these 1-star reviews. Okay. How does this have a rating of 4.31? It has to be a joke, right? Did we read the same book, besties? Yeah, we did, bestie. Yeah. This is what happens when you give an empty college ruled notebook to a bored 12-year-old who should have been paying attention in class. Y'all are aggressive. That is so mean. Why you gotta be so mean? In the words of Taylor Swift, why you gotta be so mean? Oh, how I hate book talk. Okay, here's my thing. So I was watching Mariana's video and she was like, why are we blaming book talk for you not liking a book? Just because you didn't like a book doesn't mean that it's invalid to say that this book is well beloved on book talk. Like, clearly the book is beloved because a lot of people had a great time reading it. That's the power of book talk. The fact that book talk can influence the masses on how good a book is and how the quality of this book is excellent, whether it be the writing, whether it be the vibes. Like, it shouldn't matter. Not every book is going to be a Pulitzer Prize. Let's make that very clear. Not every book is going to be a literary award winner. It's just not. Don't diminish someone's feelings on a book. That's not cool. I want the last 4 days of my life back, kink. Oh, I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry. This book needs more haters. Well, it's not going to get more haters. An excuse to write. It's dark romance. It's a dark romantic comedy. Like, do you not understand that a dark romance is gonna have taboo topics in it? Morally gray characters? What are we not getting here? DNF so bad. This wanted to be Haunting Adeline so bad. I haven't even read Haunting Adeline, and I know that there are details in Haunting Adeline that clearly, definitely were not in Lights Out. I can tell you that right now. 1 star is for the narrator doing the best job based on what he was given. Jacob Morgan did eat with this book. He carried this book through and through. He had me dying laughing. I just thought that this book was so well done, and he literally brought Josh to life, and I'm obsessed with him. Any audiobook that Jacob Morgan narrates, I'm gonna listen to it from now on. All right, you guys, I'm nervous about this next one, and that is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. I am obsessed with the Skyland series. Soledad has my entire heart. I literally binged this book in 1 day. It was that good. I just could not stop reading it. Based on the rating it has on Goodreads, it has a 4.39. All I know is you better watch it, because one thing about me and This Could Be Us, I like to tussle. So not too much on my girl. Well, it only has 121 star reviews, so that's not bad. This book gave part 53 on Who the Did I Marry? While the autism and divorce rep was beautifully written and refreshing and top tier for Miss Kennedy Ryan, the unrealistic self-love journey and relationship that lacked chemistry fell flat. It definitely did give Who the F Did I Marry? Because Soledad was so blindsided by that trifling man. Soledad's life was so consumed by her husband and trying to be a great mother to her daughters. For 20 plus years, this was her life's work. This was her life mission. And when everything happened the way it did, she had to rediscover herself, and she had to boss up and provide for her daughters. So she was on a self-love journey that was very well deserved. I mean, we can admit the meet cute between Soledad and Judah was a little uncomfy, but they had chemistry. I felt their chemistry, and I don't know. You can't win them all. So bored, annoying characters, can't finish. How were they annoying? Soledad's daughter, Inez, I wanted to slap the living daylights out of her because she did get a little sassy, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. That is the only character that I wanted to. Edward, I can't forget about Edward. Why am I forgetting about Edward? Edward and his daughter that was being a little pick-me, they were the only two that were pissing me off. I'm sorry, but the vibes were not vibing. I just could not bring myself to care for any of these characters. I cared. I cared about them. And based on the rating, a lot of people cared about them. All right, guys, the next book that I have is The Wedding People. This was a book that I was glad that I read at the time that I did, because it is very slice of life, but at the same time, it also provides that satire that is needed in such a kind of weird time, if that makes sense, because the main theme in this book is very dark, but Phoebe's dry humor and satire was something that really gravitated me towards this story, and I was obsessed with it. I loved it. When the pandemic, immediately no. Sometimes I don't want to hear about the pandemic. Get that part of my life out of my brain and just scoot it to the back and act like it didn't exist. A better name for this book would be The Unbearably Annoying and Boring Wedding People. I thought this book was going to be a light and funny rom-com. Hear me out. So I do see the points in this review, because there are some wedding people that were annoying. I'm not gonna lie, I freaking hated the bride. The bride was a biatch. I could not deal with her. She was so entitled, and she just expected the world to grovel at her feet, and that's not how life works. She was like the main one that I had an issue with, but I can see, based on the cover, how you could think that this was a romantic comedy. I definitely could see that, but sis, read the back of the book. It tells you what Phoebe was trying to do. And if you just would have turned the book around, then you would have seen for yourself that that was Phoebe's mission. No, just no. No, thank you. Straight to the point, sis. Straight to the point. I like that. I like that about you. Snooze fest. I love how some of y'all are straight to the point. I love that. I love that for you. All right, you guys, the next book that I have is Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. I love this story. It is just so beautiful and such a great depiction of grief and loss, and how we're not always alone in the world, and I just love it. And the fact that it's going to be a movie soon has me on the edge of my seat. I will be first in line at the theater, or I will be at the TV with a quickness when it comes on streaming. I am so excited for this. When I heard the premise of this book, I imagined an octopus POV would be used as the jumping point for reflections on captivity, otherness, different forms of intelligence, or respective nature. Sadly, I found none of that here. Okay, I do understand, because I wished that they dove deeper into captivity and how it can be problematic. And I do think that they did a great job of Marcellus giving his perspective on how we as humans interact with each other. And I really thought that that was beautiful in the story. However, I do wish that captivity was depicted a little bit more in the book. Jesus Christ. Dang, sis, dang. I understand, but god dang, you ain't had to bring Jesus into it. Jesus didn't ask to be in it. Y'all, this book is not it. DNF'd at 52 or 53%. Then why'd you leave a review? Again, why are we leaving 1-star reviews when we DNF? I know this is a beloved book, which is why I'm so stunned and so disappointed to have found it painfully dull, slow, and boring. It's honestly heavy-handed, and I felt like nothing happened for 350 pages. Maybe it could have been a short story. I wanted to like this, but it fell very flat. I do agree that there were points where the book did feel like it was dragging on, and I do agree that it could have been condensed to about 300 pages, but I think that this is just one of those stories where you're just gonna have to be patient and give it a shot, because I'm not gonna lie, like, this was my second time trying to read this book, and My mom was like, just be patient. You know, it's gonna get good. It's gonna get good. And when it got good, I kid you not, I could not stop. When the author was able to show us how everything was intertwined, I freaking loved it. Marcellus is wonderful. Cameron is insufferable. Okay, now sis, I will admit, I do agree that Marcellus was definitely the selling point in this book. And there were moments where Cameron pissed me off. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he was a little, he was a little shit. And I mean, we all can't deny that, but he's had a really difficult life. So I think it was important for me to give him grace, because I was about to be like, Cameron is dumb. Like, what the heck is going on? But definitely, I think it was important with everything that he had going on in his life. I think it was very crucial to give him grace. And I think we all deserve grace, right? At least I think so. All right, guys, the next book that we have is Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. I've heard so many good things about her books, and especially her last book, Ready or Not. So I was really excited to dive into this one. And I'm so glad that I did, because the discussion of grief and the way it was handled in this story was so beautiful. And I loved it. There were points in the book where I was literally sobbing, because I do think that Cara Bastone handled this topic with so much care. And when I tell you that this book is a slow burn, it is a full-blown slow burn. Like, you ain't got to worry about nothing being rushed with this one. Trust me. How was anyone able to get through this book? My gosh. I mean, it was captivating. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to say. Like, I'm not in your brain, you're not in mine. Like, I was able to get through it and you weren't. The main girl irritated me so much. Don't bother reading. You'll be bored to death. Lenny was going through grief. Let me say that again. Lenny was going through grief. So there were going to be points where she was going to be irritable and she was going to be feeling a range of different emotions. Like, that's normal. That is normal for somebody who is having grief. Like, I will hold your hand with a napkin in between when I say this. Grief is a range of emotions. You're going to be feeling so up and down when you're in it, and it's going to take you a while to get out of it. Like, what's so difficult about that? Did not like this book. Found both characters very annoying and too much banter. The audiobook was especially annoying. Actually, you spelled annoying wrong, so that's annoying me. I did not think that these characters were annoying. I will admit, Miles did come off very rude in the beginning. He was a complete and utter jerk when this book started, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I can handle him. But I gave it a chance, and I was like, okay, give Miles a minute, let him have a moment and see how he does. And he drastically improved throughout the rest of the book, and thank God for it. But I think the audiobook was very well done. I think if you really want to feel those emotions that Cara Bastone is trying to display in this book, I think the audiobook is a great option. I thoroughly enjoyed it. All right, you guys, I finally did it. I read The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I have a full vlog on my channel, so if you want to check that out, I will link that in the cards. But I will share my spoilery thoughts and review over there. But this book was a 5-star. Again, I've read Kristen Hanna before. I loved The Great Alone by her. And this book, I will be honest, I like this one a little bit more than Great Alone. And clearly a lot of people like this one too, because check out the average star rating on Goodreads, 4.64. So clearly this book is beloved. It's like the Twilight of World War II books with Nazis instead of vampires. Cliched writing, cliched characters, cliched themes. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know how to feel about this. This book is nowhere near as good as All the Light We Cannot See. I have not read All the Light We Cannot See, so if you guys have read it, let me know in the comments, because I'm really curious to see, since this is also a World War II historical fiction. Chick lit. I definitely didn't get chick lit from this book. Definitely did not. I got sobs, but I didn't get chick lit. Why is this book so universally praised? It's cliched and trite. A Lifetime's movie's take on occupied France. Also, it's very bad history. Please don't waste your time. Damn. Not a Lifetime movie's take on occupied France. Y'all are off the chain. All right, you guys, the final book that we are going to be reacting to is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I did post a video last week where I read this book, and clearly it's in this video, so it was a 5-star read for me. I am an Abby Jimenez stan. I will read anything that she writes, and I loved this book. It truly did not disappoint for me, and I know there's been a lot of discourse surrounding this book, but in my opinion, I loved it. And if you didn't love it, that is fine. You are valid. But let's get into these 1-star reviews. Okay, so I really didn't like this. Get a snack because I have a lot to unpack. I'm not unpacking nothing with you. I'm sorry. I'm not. Because based on everything that you have here, you went into a dissertation. And I don't have time for that. The irony of Say You'll Remember Me is that I'm doing my best to forget it. Y'all are too much. Y'all are entirely too much. There isn't one redeeming thing about this book. So a man whose love language is acts of service, emotion, depth, family conflict, working together to resolve that family conflict, pining, little spice, like nothing redeeming? Really? You sure about that? Okay. I'm so angry, I can't even. You so damn angry, you can't even finish your sentence. You can't even finish the sentence, girl. Who had a gun to the head of everybody that gave this 5 stars? Quite possibly the worst book I've ever read. Clearly me, sis. Clearly me. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for hurting my feelings, by the way. I post videos here on BookTube every single week on Tuesdays. So if you enjoy bookish content, stay a while. Thank you guys for spending some time with me, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.